Coming all the way from New York City, joining us on the Not Fade Away podcast, Sarah Elaz. She is a dancer turned bassist. She does a little bit of everything, but she has really carved herself out quickly here in the jam scene, the improv scene. She's collaborating with so many cool artists. I've been impressed with what I've seen so far. I'm really excited to dive in and learn all about you and what you do. So happy to have you here.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me, and thanks for being a fan.
Awesome. So you're in New York. Is that where it all started for you? Is that where you were kind of born and raised? And
No, yeah, and this is where my dreams started.
okay.
But the adventure started in Buffalo, which is also, I guess, New York, and then continued to Massachusetts, where I grew up as a dancer, classically trained, and really into the dance competition scene. And so when you grow up a dancer, especially on the East Coast, the end all be all of places to go is New York City. So I think I decided pretty early in my life that I would end up here. And then in college, we took trips, and I fell in love. And so I've been here now 10 years. So ever since I graduated, which is really cool to feel at home somewhere.
Where did you train for dance? Like, tell me about dancer Sarah. Did you like to perform in front of your family in the living room? Like, what was your style of dance? And
That was her training.
tell me about your dance.
It was. Hey, I was the one in the friend group to choreograph dances for everyone. So everyone would come over to my house, and my mom was a costume designer and a fashion designer. And so we would have unlimited clothes, and I would make everyone do their dances and get in their line and mark their places. And that's where it all started. And then, of course, it got much more serious in high school with competitive dance and flying out to dance competitions and summer dance intensives, really living that life. And then actually in college, I had decided to quit dance and get a little bit serious and get a degree in physics. But of course, as I think that is now a theme in my life, every time I try to put the arts and performing on the back burner, they kind of are given to me. The universe hands me another opportunity. And so I quickly added a dance major to my physics major in college, and then moved to New York City and had a lovely, beautiful dance career for the first 6 or so years that I lived here.
What did that dance career look like? Were you jazz,
Yeah.
modern? What was it?
I did a little bit of everything. It was really funny. You could find me one day in a West African dance company traveling to schools to teach kids about West African dance and drumming. You could find me in a contemporary ballet company. My longest running show was called She, a choreo play, which was an off-Broadway show that ran for about 5.5 years about sexual violence against women and police brutality. So we would travel around to different schools and perform in different places, and not only perform this work, but also give talkbacks and informational sessions about dealing with grief through movement, and also just educating people on just how much sexual violence there is in the world. And towards the end of my dance career, I actually got very into choreographing and performing with musicians, which was a really beautiful segue into my life as a musician. I had been in countless music videos, which were really fun, and backup dancing on many of the stages that I now play bass on, which is really cool.
So I'm being the musician of the two of us. I'm just curious. Did you start with like a double bass? Like what attracted you to bass in itself? Like interesting choice.
It happened because I'd always been a jam band fan and a Phish fan. I saw my first Phish show in 2010, but around 2018 was when me and my friends would start going up front at Phish shows, and we were always on the rail. And my friends specifically really loved Mike Gordon, the bass player at Phish.
Who does?
And tell me to watch him, and we would just kind of heckle Mike at every single show. And I remember just watching him and what he was doing and his role in the band, and it just kind of made sense to me. It felt intuitive, and I understood what it was. And so at the time, I was living with someone who owned a bass, and I kind of just picked it up, and he always makes a joke. All he had to do is teach me how to turn it on, and the rest I kind of learned on YouTube and just by pure love and intuition.
So you basically started playing bass because of Mike Gordon.
I did. I did, just because I like to say
That's hilarious.
that I absorbed a lot of his talents.
So you started at the top, basically.
Well, it's funny. I think it actually really helps my career that the songs and the music I was learning on were Phish songs and were Grateful Dead songs. And so I think the first song I could play all the way through was The Lizards.
Oh wow.
Which is not easy. None of this is easy music. So I do feel like I was learning from the best and learning songs already at such a high level, much higher than the average beginner bassist.
Did you have background at all in music? Like, did you play guitar? Or did you just literally go, Mike Gordon is God, and I just want to be like that?
Was it like a secret crush, or was it just in awe? Was it a crush?
I was.
Come on. I crush. I mean, that's a real thing.
Come on, he's a rock star. And it's gonna not be a crush. No, now I'm distracted.
Have you ever made any of these crushes a reality? And then we'll go back to Gord's question.
That'll be off.
Every day. Oh my God, I want to live your life.
That's pretty funny.
Sorry, there's no filter on Not Fade Away, just so you know. We don't have a filter here.
No, we don't.
I was gonna say, okay, so the real podcast is you guys just want to know who my celebrity crush is.
That's it. That's the only reason we're calling you.
Yeah, okay, and do you have any other celebrity crushes since we're on topic?
She's relentless.
Really, it's funny. I could never marry a bass player because who's gonna play bass at the wedding? But I mean, I love watching bass players, and it's been really beautiful for me in this scene to now not only get to watch some of the best bass players, but now get to know them, and they get to know me and have phone calls with me and teach me things. So as much as I am self-taught, I feel like it did take a village to teach me. And a lot of this village were just the kindest, most amazing jam band bass players, from Dan Kelly of Neighbor, to watching Mike on stage.
But it's a boys club, and now you're in it. I mean, first of all, I don't know how you kind of carved this so quickly, right? I mean, it happened pretty quickly for you, did it not?
It did. I mean, yeah, so I taught myself bass during the pandemic. And then I played my first gig, I guess probably 2021 or 2022. And then for probably like a year and a half, I wasn't in the jam band scene at all. I was playing at bars. I was playing top 40. I was in a pop punk band. I was in an emo band. And I think I started my Phish cover band in 2024. And then started touring full time with Barely Dead in 2024 also. 2025? Years are weird. I think 2025. I can't remember now.
So are you currently playing in a Grateful Dead tribute band?
I am, yeah. So currently I tour full time with a band called Barely Dead.
Oh, wow.
They're wonderful. They're originally a Boston-based band that had a residency that was extremely successful. So they decided to take it on the road. And when they lost their bass player, which was about a year and a half ago, they found me, and I hopped in a van and started touring the country.
So what do you think of the whole live scene, touring, the grind of it all?
Oh.
do you love it, or is it a love-hate relationship? Because that's that's what we dive into here, is sort of the magic behind the live music, which is sometimes not as magical behind the scenes, but it ends up being that way to the audience, obviously, right? But
of course, yeah. I mean, you're talking to me at a time where I do feel a little bit burnt out. I'm not gonna lie, but it's hard not to be. And being on the road itself and being in a band is you're part of this really big family. And everyone has to work together every single day to get things done. And you're together 24/7 in this tiny little van. And there's no free time. It's not like we're sightseeing. The coolest thing we're doing is going to a Buc-ee's. And then we're loading gear and setting up merch and, making set lists and playing these shows and then packing up and then driving to the next city. And it is not easy. And it is extremely lonely. And
are you the only female in the band, or?
I am.
Yeah, I want to go back to that. Just being a female in a boys' club. Like, let's be real here, right? I mean, musicians are. I mean, there's tons of amazing, talented women, and there's more and more and more. But how are you navigating that? How?
It's
Different
every day. I think it's hard. I feel really lucky because I have found a group of guys when it comes to not only Barely Dead, but my original band Boojum. I have found guys that love and respect me and have my back with their entire soul. That being said, that is not the case for everyone. And I had to learn, and I'm still learning, how to protect my energy and know when to pull back, but first know how to read the energy and be careful. And it's not a science, and especially as someone it's not like I'm married or anything, so people should be allowed to flirt with me and have a vibe, right? If we're talking about all of our celebrity crushes. But you really do need to maintain professionalism and decide if that's what you want or if we want to go and, have a love affair.
I'm also in a Grateful Dead tribute band, and I'm just wondering if you guys are as crazy as us. Like, we refuse to play the same songs. Like, sometimes we're actually doing this little mini tour this summer, and I think we're going to be playing 4 shows, and we're not repeating any songs. And it's
Nice.
I'm just wondering, do you guys do that to yourselves, or are we just the idiots that do that?
Barely Dead does that times infinity. We even before I joined the band, especially when they had a residency. So as a residency band, they played every single Wednesday for months and months and months. And of course, immediately got sick of playing Scarlet Begonias. Yeah. I'm sick of playing it. And so our thing, even if it's not repeats, when it comes to repeats, Nick, who's the lead guitarist, makes the set list. Make sure if we're on tour and we say we're going back to Brooklyn Bowl, that we don't repeat any of the songs that we played at the last Brooklyn Bowl or the one before that. So not only do we not repeat from city to city, but in addition, we've implemented and added a lot of really deep cuts into the repertoire. A lot of songs like a Picasso Moon that people might be polarizing, or adding a lot of Jerry Band, or even if Jerry Band played it once, I think we're allowed to play it. We play this Bruce Hornsby song, Valley Road, that I think the Dead played literally one time, but it's allowed. And so there's ways to keep it fun and fresh. I will also say I think the most important thing that we do is play like ourselves. And the jamming style, especially if it's a one guitar band, the jamming style does not sound anything at all like the Dead. I mean, of course I learned from Phil Lesh and I play his lines because that's how I learn the songs. But when we're in open improvisation space, I'm completely being myself. And I think that is what keeps the music fresh. And I think that's what the whole idea is, right? I don't think Jerry would want us to be playing his exact solos as they are. This whole scene is about exploration, expanding the mind, and being yourself authentically and loudly. And the way that I can do that is through my improvisation, even if we're playing songs that have now been played for 40, 60 years.
I want to go back to like your energy and protecting your energy and just like the whole music scene as far as like being in it and in the bars and in these venues. And I mean, just myself, I'm usually there. I'm there as the audience, or I'm there interviewing, right? That's kind of my jam. But I'm just curious, like how you protect your energy and how you work with, the fan base and keeping your energy up and the vibrating high, because there is kind of low vibe. And when you get into, and there's drugs and there's other things happening and, some of these scenes, most of the time, just how you navigate that. And then how do you navigate that as well?
Yeah. So I think you have to be primed to be able to thrive in this lifestyle. I think I really feed off, I'm an extrovert through and through. I really feed off people's energy. So what I do after every Barely Dead show is I don't leave the stage right away. I start slowly packing up my things so that people have a chance to come say hi to me. And that is a really beautiful ritual, and just one example of the rituals I do at every show that helps me remember why I do it. And so something simple like that, staying on stage and talking to people, or even like my fit checks, even these like Instagram things that I post at every show, is just a way for me to continue finding the joy and the love. And I think that's what's going to prevent me from burning out. It's not anything specific, but it's continually reminding myself and finding ways to remind myself of the joy of this and of why we got into this. I mean, it reminds me, I was just at this Phish at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and I was hanging out with my friend Benji, who also works in music. And I think it was in the middle of Son the Fish's Jam, I think, was going through your mind, and we looked at each other, and we had the same look in our eyes. And we both kind of simultaneously said, this is why we do it. This is why we do it. And I think when we get money involved in business and likes and streams and all this superficial stuff, once we add that to the music, it dilutes, again, why we got into this, why music is so important, why this music has been able to stand the test of time.
I like to always ask, because so you mentioned you have an original band and you play in some like Phish and Dead and who knows what else, but how do you juggle that? I mean, because obviously you have your creative side to you that you want to express, and then you're obviously there's this huge catalog of Grateful Dead songs you love, or Phish songs, or whatever have you. How do you navigate that? And obviously you love live music, but I'm just curious, do you have a strategy on that?
Yeah, I think my current strategy is to say no.
It's a hard thing to learn how to do.
Say no to what, though?
Everything. No. I'm at a point right now where I think what I've been saying over and over again for the past month is that time is our most valuable currency. And so there really only is a certain amount of time in the day to learn a new song or write a new song or go on tour, right? There's so many different avenues in music that we can take, but we cannot do them all because there's not enough time. And so right now for me is trying to figure out where to spend that time. And of course, no one's perfect. And of course, we have to do things for money, for exposure, for whatever reason we're doing our things. But I'm really trying to hone in on those things that are really, really special to me in my heart. I mean, we have this criteria for gigs as a musician, right? It has to do 2 out of 3 things. It either needs to be a good hang, good money, or good creative fulfillment.
Love that.
And so if I'm kind of living my life like that and taking every opportunity as it comes and making sure it fills a couple buckets, I think that's how it happens. And I mean, that's how my whole career has been. And even just learning bass, it all just felt like it happened.
Was there a turning point for you somewhere along, because you were a dancer and you become obviously a musician now? I think you seem like you see yourself as a musician now. So how was there like?
Do I have imposter syndrome every day.
Well, you're also.
I think we all do.
You're also a booking agent. There's all kinds of things that you have behind the scenes. But is there something that really inspired? Because I know I've caught the bug of live music in particular. I love going to the studio and all that, but live music, there's something so incredibly magical to it that you can't describe, the energy from the audience and all that. Is that something that drives you? Is that what you're chasing all the time? That X factor that some people used to call it, Grateful Dead shows?
Absolutely. Yeah. What happened was, so I was a working professional dancer in New York, and I was also going to a lot of Phish shows. And I started getting really upset with the dance scene as it was, because people were creating art, sure, for art's sake, but they weren't creating digestible art for the public, right? No one's out here trying to get Boston ballet, whatever. It's not even ballet. It's just, I was running in circles where people were not creating art that I felt brought people together in the same way that I was seeing at Phish shows. And it really bothered me. And it was kind of one of my first life crises of, why am I creating this art that no one's watching, that's not bringing people together? I don't feel like I belong. I feel like I belong in this other scene. and that's where I want to go. And so then I kind of took on this role. Oh, well, I'm just a dancer at Phish shows, right? I'm just a dancer on the rail. That's my job now, which I love, and I still do it all the time.
That's definitely
Yeah, that was going to ask you. You still go like to tons of shows as just, audience participation.
Totally. Yeah, maybe I like to be in the VIP section now. I've got soft. Absolutely.
Dancing on the side of the stage too. But
Oh, absolutely.
But what is the what do you love about the whole Phish artistic expression? Like for you, what is it that you're just so into about it?
Yeah, what really drew me is the unapologetic theatricality. I think they are just so weird and so brilliant. And I feel weird. And time will tell if I'm brilliant. But there's something so carefree and beautiful that Phish does and that Trey does when he writes, and what they do every New Year's Eve with all the theatrics and Gamehenge and the stage antics and the dancing and the trampolines. It felt so authentic to me and quirky, and that's what I bring to my life and my art every day. And so it's funny also to live simultaneously in the Grateful Dead realm, which feels very serious, right? And it was a totally different movement, but it still has that freedom and that invitation to be yourself and to live wildly.
Okay, I want to talk about the fits. I want to talk about the fits, really. Because, I put so much into my outfits for shows. So... where are you shopping? How are you planning? And honestly, like, where's your inspiration?
She goes where I get my clothes.
As far as when you're performing and you're on stage, how are you planning those outfits? Is somebody else planning them? Or do you have...
I think about it 24/7. I love fashion. So yeah, I grew up in a house. My mom was an engineer, and then she quit her job and went back to school for fashion. Was a costume designer, was a
lucky. You're so lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she made like all my clothes growing up. And so I had a love for it. And just like any skill, just like any muscle, just like playing bass, you have to practice. And so I do a lot of practicing. I look on fashion websites, and I look on TikTok and Pinterest, and I look at what's trending, and I go thrifting, and I practice makeup looks, and I try on things in my home, and I rent clothes so that I don't repeat. It really does feel like another leg of the creative process.
So you don't repeat. You don't repeat.
Why? And I don't repeat outfits now.
Okay.
Wow.
Like never anything. Always.
I'll wear like a show outfit on like to a show, like to a different show.
Yeah.
Like I'll repeat in different avenues of my life. But when it comes to every Barely Dead show I've ever played, I've never worn the same outfit twice. And it's something that is just part of the creative process. I think it's coming from my dance roots. We always had a dance costume, and we're on stage, and we're in front of people. So to me, it's extremely important. I was gonna say just as important, but I don't think that's true. The music comes first. But for me, it's the entire stage presence and persona, which is why I think people gravitated towards me, because it's something extra. It's something exciting.
Thought maybe you got your passion from Jerry Garcia.
I was going to say Mike Gordon. You remember when he had this
Mike Gordon actually has pretty good fashion.
Well, actually, so who are some of your, inspirations outside, musically?
Do you follow Tina Weymouth at all, or any of those? Yeah.
I've met her twice. She's amazing. So yeah, I was going to name another amazing female bass player, Laura Lee of Khruangbin.
Yep.
Her outfits are insane. They're amazing. I think of Sierra Farrell is my favorite example of a musician who's going so far beyond just putting on an outfit. She's wearing these huge Victorian dresses and has, a grill and face tattoos. I'm just so inspired by it. I want to go further.
Yeah. So where would you go? Like, how do you kind of identify your stage identity? As far as, is it color? Is it pattern? Is it art? How do you, I've seen you perform, and I was like, that girl has the it factor. And I think success is coming really quickly for you.
That's
And I feel like that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast. It's just, I feel like you've got this great vibration and you're getting to dabble in these communities, especially being in New York. And I don't know, like, what are some of the communities that you are dabbling in, and I'm just curious, your inspirations for
Yeah. So, well, it's fun. It's fun. It has been fun touring because I've been outside of New York a lot, and I've gotten to play a bunch of festivals. I think we talked about that we met on Jam Cruise, or that's where you found me. So getting to see that community, and this past year I went to New Orleans Jazz Festival, and I got to see that community. And I recently have been going to a lot of Goose shows, and I've been hanging out with that community. I think this jam band scene is really special because everyone has their avenue. Whether you're a Biscuits fan, whether you're a Mo fan, but everyone feels the same flavor. And that's one of my favorite things about touring is I can go anywhere, or even if I'm not on tour. I remember I was just in Houston one day and I reached out to a local Grateful Dead Facebook group and I met a bunch of people and we went out and we've been friends ever since. And so for me, making my way through the jam band community has been so beautiful. And then of course the next question is, all right, well, who's next? And I think there's so many similarities between jam and EDM music that we can explore, or indie music, and just music lovers in general. I think my next goal is to transcend this community and try to connect everyone and meet new people and play new festivals that way.
That was going to be our next question to you is where, like, obviously you're a rising star. So the question is where do you see yourself rising to? Like, do you have a plan, or are you just going with it at the flow, or do you have like a vision? Like, this is what I want to do. I want to be an original band like Phish and create a community like Phish, or do you want to be a musician at large that's playing with just every artist that you love?
Yeah, I mean, of course, both. I think there's a third option that me and my original band Boojum are trying to explore. We're all in the theater world as well. A lot of them have worked on Broadway. And so our specialty is writing jam band and rock operas.
Wow.
I think in our time together, we've only been a band for 2 years. I think we have 5 that we're currently working on already. And even before me, they wrote them. And so we have this really beautiful new vision of being able to create these immersive works that are based in improvisation, based in jam, based in funk, based in, drug music. But it can, run forever at a theater in the West End, or it can tour without us. And we can create these living works that are fundamentally jam band, fundamentally just part of the scene, but can transcend to anybody.
I mean, I was just in a yoga class and they have live music now in my yoga studio, and it's so transformative. And I mean, I've never been to a studio that's offered that before, but I do see like this idea is fantastic. And I think you're onto it. You're definitely onto something that I think can you take it out of New York though? I mean, we want some of this too, because it's always New York Broadway.
You let it out of the bag that you have connections here in Vancouver and across Canada. So we're expecting to see you here and include us in some of your adventures.
Were you just playing a little bit before the Goose? I thought I saw you. Were you just there to enjoy the Goose shows in New York, or?
Yeah, we did an amazing Night Zero event that was put on with the Femme Flock, which is another podcast, benefiting Conscious Alliance. And I put together an amazing super group of musicians to improvise. This is the second one I've done. We need a good working name. Right now it's just named after me, but another goal of mine, this is pretty short term, is to create a collective of female musicians that can lead jam sessions. And so we did our first one at the Bitter End a couple months ago, and our second one right before the Goose show. And it was so spectacular to have, me in the middle. I had these 2 amazing singers to my left and these 2 amazing female guitar players to my right. And it was just a huge line. And then Natalie Brooks had an on guitar, and Nico Suave came and sang. And at one moment there was, I can't even count that now, 7 women in a line on stage all creating music together. And that was beautiful and so special. And it goes back to kind of what we were saying, that this is a boys club, but there are girls here, and we are strong and we are badass. and we look good doing
We are
it.
badass. And yeah, how do you see, I mean, for me, actually, when I met Gord, you know, we've been kind of interacting, and this is kind of meant to be for a while, but then I had this idea of this, you know, Women Are Smarter podcast, and then he was talking about it, and we're like, let's do this together. But how do you see, you know, women evolving and rising here? And I mean, how do you feel right now in 2026 being a woman in the music scene, and where do you see it in 10 years?
Totally. Well, I think the first thing I want to mention is allyship is just as important.
For sure.
Right? Like we in a patriarchal system, we cannot transcend without the help of our brothers. And so I'm so thankful for all the men in my life that uplift me and support me and have my back and believe in me. And I just hope that there's more of us. I hope that my existence and me putting out my content, my little fit checks, inspires the next generation of women to play, so that when I'm trying to create a jam, it's way easier for me to find a female drummer. It's way easier for me to find a female guitar player. Because right now, even if we're respected and loved, there's just so few of us. And so it's really hard to make a statement. It's really disheartening going to all these festivals and looking at the lineup and only seeing 2 women on there out of 50 men. And again, I think these promoters are trying. It's not from lack of trying. It's just from...
Well, particularly in the jam band scene, I think there's brown-eyed women. They're very
who are fantastic. I mean, yeah, and of course, I mean, and there's Karina Reichman, who's a fantastic bass player, and Lara Swass, who sat in my jams, is an amazing guitar player, plays with O'Teal. And so, of course, we're here, but we need more. And so I hope I can inspire people. I hope people can see that I picked this instrument up, 6 years ago.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Vintage or high fashion?
Vintage.
Okay. Studio or live?
Live.
weed or mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early mornings, late nights?
Late nights.
Tequila or scotch.
Scotch.
Favorite city you've ever played?
Key West.
All right. Dream collaborator?
Oh, Rick from Goose.
Grateful Dead or Phish.
Oh my God. Next.
Did you say pass?
Is it pass?
I don't play the.
Okay, one album you'd save from a fire.
Talking Heads, 77.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And most underrated instrument, maybe?
Ooh.
The juice art.
The shaker.
The shaker. Okay, favorite thing in your, must have, go to in your purse at all times?
Hook.
Chapstick.
Chapstick. Okay, I love it. So fun.
Oh, I like these. I want more.
I know, it's so fun, right? These I could go on.
You like to wear hats or no hats?
Oh, hats all the time.
Okay, so just one.
I'm having a good hair day, so I'm very happy.
Hair up or hair down?
You have good down.
Hair.
Your hair's always down, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I like blowing it around. Also, when I'm on tour with Barely Dead, we travel with fans. And so my hair is also always blowing back and in the wind, and it really has the Beyonce effect.
Love that.
And so I want to thank my biggest fan.
Okay, and since, we're all about the magic of live music and the memories that stay with people forever, is there one memory for your live music, whether it was on stage, backstage, campfire setting, that will just stay with you in your heart forever?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind, just because it was really recent, was when I was asked to do the Bob Weir tribute at Brooklyn Bowl. About a week after he died, I had the booker kind of texted me and said, "Hey, can you put together a super group in 2 days?" I said, "Yeah, of course." He's like, "It's going to be a free show."
You put that together?
I did.
Wow. I didn't know that
person
you were actually the one booking. I mean, I know all about that tribute, and I mean, everybody was watching it from coast to coast, but...
Well, I wasn't told at the time it was just going to be small, but and so I asked my immediate band. So I asked Boojum first, my original band. Everyone said no. So I was like, "All right, you're lost." And I called up Vinny, the drummer of Mo, and I said, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" And he said yes. And soon after, it kind of snowballed to the effect of we were on stage sound checking, and the buyer would just come up every couple minutes and be like, hey, by the way, like Robert Randolph's gonna sit in. I was like, all right, great. Hey, by the way, like Stuart Bogey's gonna come sit in. I'm like, okay, great. And so that just kept happening, and it was just that's just how the whole thing happened. Even earlier that day, like, oh yeah, by the way, Nuds is gonna stream. Oh yeah, by the way, like there's like 3,000 RSVPs. Like, don't worry about it. And so in 2 days, it went from this stupid idea, and I'm just doing a favor for the Book Bowl to performing the biggest show of my life.
Wow.
With, you know, the best people ever and then getting in the New York Times, you know, and
Yeah, I saw that.
That's again, the only thing we're talking about of like, where do you see yourself? What's next? How do you plan this? You can't plan for that. You just have to be there and be ready for it and be open to it. And that, I mean, that's been my strategy.
No,
that's a special story because I'm kind of the Bob Weir in my Grateful Dead the band, so which is unsung thing. So I love that you were involved in the Bob Weir tribute. That's awesome.
I can't believe you brought that all together. Well, I mean, you're going to be my new bestie, I hope, and that you're going to help us bring some epic artists onto it because we just hope to bring and tell everybody's story and the magic. And, you know, I love that you're just so grounded in the success that's building for you. And yeah, so grateful that you came on. Thank you.
Yeah, we wish you the best. You're going to do awesome.
Thanks so fun. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will see you soon at a show, I'm sure.
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah. I guess I can plug, we're doing a Jerry tribute on August 8th at Brooklyn Bowl. It's going to be the same kind of thing. It's going to be called Dead Ball. And so again, I've been working all day today trying to brainstorm who's the next coolest person for me to have on stage with me to honor the dead.
Well, it sounds like you've got all the connections and you've got the creative flow of just making people that happen, right? So that's a gift. That's a gift in itself. Right? So amazing. Okay, August the 8th. Epic. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So great to have you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.